Jeremy Corbyn twice agreed to sit in my passenger seat, but twice he pulled out. All the other candidates signed up to car share without quibbling, but Mr Corbyn refused, so I had to meet him for a cuppa instead.
I cycle all the time. Actually, I've got a confession to make, a rather naughty secret. I've got two bikes.
Two bikes? Two bikes, it was two Jags Prescott, it's two bikes Corbyn.
You got it, yeah. I'm sorry. It's a scoop for you. Is that a help?
Absolutely.
Can you cope with this?
Excellent. Explain to me, what has happened in politics this summer? Because for many people, you've gone from being a backbencher they've probably never heard of to the biggest name in politics in the space of 3 months.
Well, we went into this election because we wanted there to be a real debate and real choice, and with great difficulty we made it on the ballot paper. I realised many of my colleagues were very reluctant to nominate me, and I thank them for it because they were giving a democratic choice. And what's been unleashed, and that's the best way of describing it, is a whole lot of people who want to have a debate about the politics of austerity, want to have a debate about the nature of our society and where things are going.
Is what we're hearing an explosion of voices that for years were ridiculed within the Labour movement?
It's people offering their ideas. It's older people coming back to Labour who were put off by a combination of private finance initiative and wars, and it's a lot of young people who've been written off as being a non-political generation. They've come into this because there's space, because it's open, because it's a discussion, and because the fundamental point I'm saying is there's a whole lot of policy ideas I've put forward on a huge range of subjects. They're not the last word, they're not a encyclical from the top of the mountain, they are ideas.
How much do you think this is also about the fact that you're different from what is seen to be the very typical political class?
I've always approached politics on the basis that you should stay where you've come from and represent them as best you can, and that is the important role of a Member of Parliament. You're there to represent a community, sometimes to raise very difficult issues, sometimes to make yourself very unpopular in raising them, but that's the job you have to do.
What would a Corbyn Britain look like?
Well, it wouldn't be a Corbyn Britain, it would be a Britain of people. So this is not some big personality trip by any manner of means. What I want to see is a value-ridden society where we develop an economy which is diverse and an economic policy that's inclusive of everyone. And so I would want to see investment in green energy jobs, in manufacturing jobs, and looking at the skill levels we have in Britain. The other one is the social security system and welfare state. I find it beyond belief abominable, the way in which we join in this sort of routine abuse of people who are legitimately claiming benefits to which they're entitled in order to make ends meet. So whoever wins the leadership has quite a big mandate from outside, and we've got to democratise and open up our party. Does it mean there's going to be easy days ahead? No, there's going to be, I'm sure, complicated days ahead, but my view is we've got to challenge the austerity agenda of the government. We've got to challenge the levels of inequality in Britain, and that's what I'm keen on doing.
People have been throwing rhetorically all sorts at you, and I don't know, it must be tempting to lash out, but you never do, and you say, look, you don't do that. And how important is it that kind of civility is returned to debate?
You and I are sitting here in this lovely cafe in Finsbury Park, having a perfectly civil, reasonable conversation. I come in this cafe quite often and have the same civil conversation. People often say things to me around here with which I profoundly disagree. We have a chat about it, we agree or disagree, and we shake hands at the end of it. That's how people are in normal life. So why is it that members of Parliament feel that they're on the theatrical stage of the floor of the House of Commons? It's okay to be as abusive as you can think of about the person opposite you, and it's a sort of faux drama and all this, or to throw things in the media which is just plain abuse of the individual and constantly calling into question their character. I don't do that because I was brought up to be polite.
Are you ready for the scrutiny? And the scrutiny's already started, hasn't it, about the company you've kept, headlines about Hamas and Hezbollah.
If you're a publicly elected representative, then scrutiny goes with it. Have I met people with whom I profoundly disagree? Yeah, many times. You probably have as well. We all have. Do we want to bring about a long-lasting, serious peace process in the Middle East? Does that mean you can do it without talking to Hamas? No, you've got to talk. And I have spoken to Hamas, but surely it's worth making the effort if that brings forward a peace process and saves lives. It's surely worth the effort.
Do you want to be Prime Minister?
Well, let's get to be the leader of the Labour Party first, and then we'll move on to the election campaign, and then things could happen. It could be very different and very interesting. But
that sounds like a politician's answer to me.
It is a politician's answer, because there's 2 elections between now and then. But the answer is, of course, yes, that's why we're doing this process. Yes, because I don't do it for some personal trip, because as you probably observed in my life, I haven't actually sought a lot of things. I've done a lot of things, and I've made my views known on lots of things, but I try to make them known in a respectful and decent way, and try to understand where other people are coming from. That surely is how you get things done. You can sometimes get an awful lot done by a bit of kindness and a bit of politeness.
What do you say to the busloads of Labour types who say a Jeremy Corbyn leadership equals oblivion for the Labour Party?
Well, if they're saying that, I ask them to consider all the policy documents we've put forward, and we've prepared a very large number. All of them are ideas, all of them are suggestions, none of them are set in stone, they're all open to discussion and debate. Surely that is a good thing.
Thank you, Mr. Corbyn. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're very welcome.